Right. Yep. That never gets old. Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? This right here is the 2025 Porsche Taycan Turbo S. Now I'm gonna give you guys an outside walk around, an inside tour, and show you all the major improvements they made for the new model year. All right, so because it's a Turbo S model, we have to start with the performance. So they made a lot of changes to the battery technology and the motor. And starting with the power that this thing puts out, they're saying 700 kilowatts, which is around 938 horsepower and 811 pound-feet of torque. That's just the power and torque that we're gonna be getting from the Taycan Turbo S, which is a huge step in improvement compared to the previous model year. And on top of that, there's also updated motors, which is now 9 kilograms lighter. The battery pack used to be 93.4 kilowatt hours. Now it's 105 kilowatt hours. So it's a bigger battery pack, which helps get you better performance. In addition, the motor was significantly improved. And like I said, 9 kilograms lighter on the motor as well. So it's a lighter motor that's also more capable of handling more power, and also with regen, which we'll get into a little bit. But let's talk about the charging here. And coming on this side, there are chargers on both sides, like you guys know and expect from the Taycan. And the charging, because of that new battery technology that they have, is now expected to charge from 10 to 80% in 18 minutes. Prior to that, it used to be around 21.5 with the larger battery pack. So I think you're getting a larger battery pack, but it's charging in the same amount of time as before, or actually in less amount of time as before. The fastest charging Taycan you used to be able to get on like the smaller battery packs was 18 minutes. This is now being brought up to the larger, higher performance Turbo S battery pack, which is super cool to see. And while we're here talking about the wheel, tire, and brake package, let's talk about brake regeneration. They improved it significantly. Prior to the 2025 model year, brake regen was around 290 kilowatts of like regen energy going back into the battery, which was one of the most efficient brake regens out there in the industry. And that was thanks to the 800 volt architecture that Porsche has for this system. But they now brought that up to 400 kilowatts of regeneration. Around half a G of brake regen can be done using the motors alone, which is huge. And obviously Porsche's philosophy is you use the brakes for the brakes, you use the accelerator for accelerating. So they've seamlessly integrated that brake regen technology into the brake pedal, so you get perfect performance and perfect Porsche expected brake feel. But let's talk about this wheel package real quick. It's a 21-inch new wheel design for 2025. This one has the Turbonite, which you'll see on the crest, which we'll show you when we get to the outside walk around and the design portion of it. This is a 21-inch wheel package. It's supposed to help range by 25 miles. And while we're talking about range, what range can you expect on this? EPA estimates aren't out yet, but the LTPW one has been announced, and that, if you do the conversion, is around 425 miles of range. So 35% improvement is what they're stating compared to the previous model year. So expect a similar percentage improvement for EPA estimates. At least that's my guess, that's my hunch, just given what I've been seeing from the presentation that they've shared with me. But with that, let's talk about the suspension, because they made a significant improvement for the Turbo S. So on the previous model year Porsche Taycan Turbo S, it had the 2-chamber, 2-valve design air suspension, which could adjust the ride height, and obviously was a really big part of the Porsche Taycan's handling package. They've upgraded that to now this, which is a 3-chamber, single-valve air suspension system. And that allows for a lot more features, a lot more capability, and a lot of improvements. This is what the cutout looks like. I'm not a air suspension engineer by any means, so I cannot break down exactly the architecture here. This is just cool to look at. Let me show you when we get to the car what you get as far as those improvements go. So off the bat, entry and exit, they've added like an easy ride height feature, which we've seen on like more premium sedans. So when you go to open the vehicle, it'll lift it up from 55 to 77 millimeters if you want to enable that feature, and it's super quick. I'll overlay a shot of that so you guys can see it. It's a nice feature to have, it's cool, but what's even cooler is what they're calling helicopter mode. So what helicopter mode is going to let you do is, it's basically an anti-roll. It's part of Porsche's adaptive ride suite, which is new compared to, let's say, prior Taycans, which had the PASM or the PDCC, which is the anti-roll 48 volt anti-roll bar architecture. So what helicopter mode does is, think a helicopter, right? When it accelerates forward, what does it do? It pitches forward to go forward, and when it decelerates, it pitches back to slow down. That's what it's going to do here. And we tested on the drive, which you'll see in my other video, which I do a full walk around on all the Taycan models, and what that's like to experience. Because when you're accelerating, it's basically, the goal is to keep you, well, the real reason is to help keep your coffee from spilling. You know, you're going hard on the canyons and turning. You don't want your coffee to be spilling around, right? So it's going to keep the vehicle level. It's going to counteract the pitch of accelerating and the dive of decelerating, which is super cool. On top of pitch and dive, there's also a counteract roll. So if you're going into turn, your body roll will be counteracted, so it'll actually lean into the turns. So again, preventing you from spilling your coffee. That's probably the best benefit you can get from a Porsche in 2025, am I right? No, I'm just playing. But like, it's pretty cool that they're leveraging that suspension and its responsiveness to improve driving dynamics, both from a comfort level, but also from a performance level. So those are the main advantages to that system. And while we're talking about the chassis, I do want to talk about torque vectoring. They have improved the torque vectoring for 2025. Obviously, it's still a great system. They've made some updates to it. And on top of that, there's a dynamic leveling system that you can basically lower the vehicle to whatever like ride height you want. You have normal, lower, and then low. And you can do that while driving at any speed you like, which is really cool. It automatically adjusts the ride height when you're at 105 kilometers per hour, so around 60-ish miles per hour. So automatically lower to improve range, improve aerodynamic efficiency. But it does have that auto leveling feature if you'd like to leverage that as well. But with that, let's talk about the exterior design styling because they made a lot of updates for 2025. So going on to the design, guys, it is a mid-cycle refresh, but they made a lot of changes. And I do want to start with these LED matrix headlights. So prior HD matrix LED headlights only had 8 pixels you can control. This one has 32,000 individual pixels that it can control, and it allows for a lot of cool features. One of them being a light carpet, which at night it'll actually project in front of you, basically line projections for the vehicle's positioning depending on steering input, which is super cool. Again, amazing technology for visibility at night, so you get up to 600 meters of upfront visibility, which is super cool. And I mean, obviously the design now looks a lot more modern and a lot more sleek. Coming on down here, they did improve the bumper, so you have a new front fascia, and you can tell it's more aerodynamic, feeds air into these vents that help make that air current around the wheel. But come down here and you see a carbon fiber front splitter. Looks really cool. It's in combination with this flat plastic if you come around the side here, but it's tastefully done. I mean, Porsche really just does a really good job combining different shades, different materials to make it look good overall. One other thing I do want to show you guys is the badge. This has the Turbonite badging, which looks super cool. It's the first time I'm seeing this in person, and it's gonna be rolled out across the lineup. So expect to see that on more vehicles coming soon. Really nice touch on the vehicle. Let's continue on here. Going on to the wheel package, we talked about it a little bit. Looks really cool. Obviously with the Turbo S, you also get carbon ceramic brakes, amazing package, and that Turbonite crest on the center right there, which looks really cool. Coming on the side here, you still get your dual charge port on both sides. You can open it. This is locked, unfortunately, so we're not gonna be able to get inside of it, but I'll speak to it a little bit later on. And coming up here, you do have carbon fiber side mirror covers, which isn't available on the Turbo model center. It's just available on the Turbo, so that's unique to this trim level. So just keep that in mind. And then coming around here, you get nice cutouts. They updated the design down here with a side sill that has carbon fiber integrated into the side skirt, so it's that matte black with that carbon fiber insert. Looks really cool, very tasteful. Another new thing for all Taycans is soft closed doors. It's gonna be standard on the Turbo S, available on the other models. So that wasn't offered before. Now you're getting it on this one, as well as across the lineup available. Coming around the back here real quick, guys, I do want to show you guys the updated rear fascia, which is only being offered on the Turbo and Turbo S. The Taycan, the base ones, those won't get it. This is what you're gonna be getting for the new rear styling. So kind of pan around, take it all in real quick. It looks really cool in my opinion. The light bar is probably the main standout piece with the Porsche lettering. Prior to that, it wasn't. I was thinking, like, why didn't they update? Why didn't they like light up the lettering? They had a blue tint to it. Now they're actually committing to lighting up the Porsche lettering logos. The lettering, excuse me. They also have a really cool walk in and walk away animation with the light bar kind of wrapping up and then the lights turn off. You get Turbo S badging, iconic nameplate and brand for the Porsche brand. Turbo S right there. You do get obviously your rear hatch, which opens up. This was not going to do that for us. But coming down to the rear diffuser, you get the flat back here, these nice fins, carbon fiber around the rear diffuser, and the rest is just flat plastic. So a nice update for 2025. And like I said, guys, it is locked, so I won't be able to show you guys the inside, but I do want to talk about a few features, which we'll show you in the Turbo Cross Turismo. So we're inside a Turbo, not a Turbo S, so sorry guys, but that one is locked up, like I mentioned earlier, but this will give us a good idea on what we're getting inside the vehicle. And you can see more about this on my other video, which I'll go in way more depth later on. But starting with the passenger screen here, guys, that is available. You are gonna get it, and it has privacy glass because now you can watch movies on here. So if Ethan tilts a little bit to the left or the right, you'll see you don't see anything, and that's to reduce obviously driver distraction while the passenger can still enjoy their entertainment, whatever it is they want to see there. You also get, again, a standard Taycan touchscreen over here, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, updated Apple CarPlay, so you can now control things such as your AC, heated seats, ventilated seats from the Apple CarPlay interface. So you don't have to go out of that into the Porsche menu and control that. You could do that using Siri and using Apple CarPlay's touch screen interface. Coming down here, you get a third screen, guys, if you are counting at home. This one controls your AC. Again, you could be able to do that using Apple CarPlay, like I mentioned earlier, but you still get this for vehicle functionality, opening, closing, volume controls, park assist, and you can also turn off the system. But coming over here to the curved display system, it hasn't changed significantly. They've changed the graphics and the animation for the different modes that you can get into, and it looks really good. It's a nice curved OLED display system. You don't get glare off of it. So, you know, it's been out for a while, but they have updated the interface, the driver UI and UX, user experience, which is cool. But let's talk about this steering wheel here, guys. This one's leather wrapped, which is nice. You do get that turbinite on the crest, which is super tasteful, very clean. Nice carbon fiber on the spokes, which looks, again, looks so cool. It's very menacing, very stealth vibes. But I want to talk about this, guys. This is on your drive mode selector, but here's a button called push to pass. So like you'd see on IndyCar, like you see on Formula E, you now get a push to pass feature. And what does that enable you? From a performance standpoint, you get 70 kilowatts, around 90-ish horsepower additional for 10 seconds. So kind of like you had the red button on, let's say, the 911 or the Turbo GT, where you get a little bit of Sport Plus. This gives you kind of like an overboost function where you get that horsepower for additional 10 seconds for when you want to pass people or just have a little bit of fun for a short period of time. And then once you're done that 10-second stint, you'll have to do a cooldown for 10 seconds to re-engage it. Now, there are some caveats to that. You can press the button for 5 seconds, get on it, let off, disengage it, and you have a faster kind of cooldown time, if that makes sense. So that's super cool to see them integrating that, giving you more of a engaging driver experience from a performance standpoint and letting you kind of up the performance for a temporary amount of time. Because that max horsepower value that I mentioned earlier is only when you're engaging launch control. Actual horsepower daily driving is less because you can't fully, use all the power when you are daily driving this because of how they manage the motors, the battery, and their controllers. So, all right, guys, that's gonna wrap it here for this video. If you have any questions about this vehicle, drop them in the comment section below. If you enjoyed it, smash that like button and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.